Welcome to the new teacher induction program training for mentees for the 2018-2019 school year. My name is Lynette Thorstensen and I am the resource teacher here at Brevard County Public Schools. I work most specifically with our teachers who are new to the county, year 1 and year 2, as well as those teachers on a temporary certificate looking to convert that over to a professional certificate through our county professional development certification program. So on behalf of BPS, I would like to welcome all of you. We're so happy to have you be part of our wonderful team of teachers here in Brevard County. And hopefully you will find the induction program to be something extremely beneficial to you as you are moving through your work and developing your skills as a teacher here in Brevard County. I want to start by talking to you a little bit about the why of new teacher induction. One of the things that we do know from studies, the New Teacher Center is one of the places where we get a lot of our information regarding the studies about induction, is that a majority of teachers who leave the profession did not necessarily feel that they had the proper supports in place to be successful in their job. And we know that school-based mentors is really the critical key factor in providing that type of support for our teachers as they once again improve their skills and work towards becoming a professional educator. And we do know that there are significant challenges during those first years as a teacher, and that support that you will receive from those veteran teachers on your campus will be paramount to your success. And our hope is that you really have a chance to build a solid relationship with that person in your building and have that person that can act on your behalf, be your sounding board, be that person that you can go to when you're struggling, or even to celebrate when you're having those breakthrough moments with your students. And so the reason that we have this 2-year induction is to be a support to our teachers to make sure that they are successful while they're here with us in BPS and hopefully stay in Brevard Public Schools for the remainder of their career. Teachers in the induction program are K-12 teachers, school counselors, school-based social workers, and our speech and language pathologists. All of these individuals have to be professionally licensed with a professional certificate. And so these are the groups of teachers that we support through our new teacher induction program. There are 3 different types of mentees. We have those who are in their first year with us in Brevard County. They could be new to the teaching profession, but coming with a professional certificate from a university program. They can also be coming to us working on a temporary teaching certificate, and these are teachers who maybe are career changers or people who graduated with degrees in specific subject areas and have decided that they want to become teachers. So this would be everybody in year 1. Then we have our instructional personnel that are in their 2nd year of teaching within our district. And we don't delineate between whether you're a new teacher or you're just new to our county, because we do know that even veteran teachers, when they change from one county to another or one state to another, sometimes do need the supports because we know things are different in different places. And so that's our goal, is to make sure that all of the teachers new to our county get the support they need. Then we have what we call our early exit candidates, and these are our experienced teachers who come with 3 or more years of experience into Brevard County Public Schools. Now, we say a candidate because ultimately the decision to be dismissed is made by the administrator in the building, and we base it on different criteria, and certainly we look at that first informal and first formal evaluation conducted by your administrator, just to make sure that there's no issues with performance or the teacher isn't struggling and needs those induction supports. So you may be a teacher who fits into this category, and if so, that would be a conversation that you would have with the administrator in charge of induction, as well as maybe the lead mentor at your school or your school-based mentor. One of the first things that you will do as part of the program is to sign what we call an induction agreement form. And this is what we consider to be collective commitments between your building level administrator, your lead mentor teacher at the school, your school-based mentor teacher, and then of course yourself, because it's really important that everybody understands their role in the induction process and all the parties involved are supporting one another, because the bottom line is your success is what the induction program is really all about. So everybody will sign their collective agreement, and the mentee gets a copy, as well as the school-based mentor that's working with you, and the administrator will keep a copy on file in their office. Our teachers that are on a temporary teaching certificate, we know that you maybe have special needs because even though you have a rich background in the subject in which you teach, we do know that there may be some things regarding the pedagogy of education that you have not been trained in as of yet. And so just as an awareness to understand that we do have a district-based program that we provide to give you that additional training that you need to be successful. It also provides you with the information and coursework that you would need to be able to take that professional certification test during that third year of your certification. And so if you would like more information about that program, it is on our district website. The link that you see there will take you directly to the page for PDCP. One of the things that is really important is that you have passed your GK exam. We really recommend that teachers don't wait if they still need to pass that general knowledge test. Your target date for taking that should be November of your first year of employment. We know you have until April to pass that test and complete it, but we really would recommend that you try to take it at least by November, because that way, if there are any areas where you might be struggling a little bit, you'll have time to intervene and then hopefully to be able to pass all 4 sections of that test prior to April. But in order to enter the PDCP, you need to pass your GK, as well as there has to be at least 18 months left on your current certificate. Now, those of you that are just starting and just came in and just received your certificate, your expiration is probably 2021. And then for some of you, my year 2s, it's probably 2020. It's really, really important for everyone to know the status of their certificate. So if you are on a temporary, you would have received a statement of eligibility from the state of Florida. And it's important that you know what the state has said you need to do to be able to complete the requirements for your professional certificate. Don't expect that someone is going to be guiding you through that necessarily. We do our very best to make sure that you're informed along the way, but we also need your help in making sure that you know and that you're asking those questions. And your mentor at your school is a perfect person to start with, because even if they don't know the answer to those questions, they probably will know the person to direct you to. And I would be one of those people, of course. That is the program that I run. So please feel free to email any questions you have directly to me. Now, those of you on a professional certificate that came out of a university program, or you're an experienced teacher who's on a prof, this would not be a concern to you, because you've already been through all of these things. You've taken all of your tests and met all your requirements while you were at the university. This is a screenshot of our new page for new teacher induction, and it's important for everybody to know where it is, because all of the documents and forms that you would need to guide yourself through induction along with your mentor is located here. And so you would go to our brevardschools.org website. When you get there, you would click on Departments and Programs in the black toolbar that will be at the top. And then you would go to Professional Development and Service Information. When you click on that, it will bring up this page you see in front of you here. And then on the left-hand side is where you'll see New Teacher Induction. And if you notice right underneath that, for those of you on a temporary certificate, it says Professional Development Certification Programs. So that's where you would go to get some more specific information about that. But for regular New Teacher Induction, which every new teacher in Brevard County goes through for year 1 and year 2, this is where you would find all of your supporting documents. And I will talk to you a little bit about the Microsoft Teams, but you're also going to find those supporting documents in your new teacher induction Microsoft team. So the requirements for a mentee during their first year in our county is that the mentor is going to observe you in your classroom a minimum of 2 times. And we say a minimum because there are times when mentees and mentors decide to do it more often. And if their schedule permits, then they certainly do. We also have mentors and mentees who sometimes will tape each other so that they can watch those and provide feedback. Because it's not only important for your mentor to watch you teach, but one of the requirements of the program is also that you are going to go out and watch a highly effective teacher teaching in their classroom. And in Brevard County Public Schools, we do try to foster that understanding that we are always developing, all of us as professionals, and it's really important for us to be able to be involved in the work of one another so that we can improve our teaching practice. As a mentee in the program, when you meet with your mentor, they're going to do a pre-conference assessment with you, and then they're going to go into your classroom and observe. And then when you do your post-conference and you get together and you talk about what your mentor observed in your classroom, you're going to be completing what we call an inquiry cycle. And the inquiry cycle is just going to take you through a very short method of taking a look at any areas where you want to work on improving. That would be your problem of practice. And then from there, you would collect your data. You would implement things that you have decided on in your classroom. And then you would get back together with your mentor at the end of that cycle to share with them how your practices have improved, how your student outcomes have improved, and what you see in your data. And it sounds complicated, but it really is a very simple process of just looking at your practice, deciding how you want to make improvements in your practice, and then looking at the outcomes. I'll talk about it in a few minutes, but in your Sanford Inspire videos, there is a video about the inquiry cycle that is part of your PD plan, and it will explain the entire inquiry cycle and how you move through that. And so you'll have the training you need to understand that that piece before you meet with your mentor for the post-conference. And once again, like I said, you are also going to visit the classroom of a highly effective teacher at least 2 times during the year. The recommendation is once in the fall and once in the spring, because we certainly want you to be able to do that in the fall so that you can get ideas and share things with your mentor teacher. When you do the second observation, it doesn't have to be with your mentor teacher. You can go into the classroom of another highly effective teacher. Sometimes there's people that your mentor would recommend for you to go and see. For example, let's say you want to work on cooperative learning with your students, and you want to learn more about cooperative learning and how groups work and how you group students together. Your mentor may say, oh, so-and-so teacher is great with cooperative learning and they really know it well, so why don't you go in there and do your observation? It really is between you and your mentor. And then, of course, the lead mentor at the school and your admin is going to help you making those arrangements so that you can get into the classrooms and your mentors can get into your classroom. We also ask that our mentors and mentees meet weekly. The amount of time is decided on by the mentor and the mentee, but 15 minutes is usually a minimum for a single meeting. And in your folder, in your mentee folder on the website and also in the Microsoft team is where you will find the mentoring log. And I'll show you a little later what that looks like. And you are actually going to be sending that mentoring log in to the district, not you personally, but your mentor is going to be doing that for you. So at the end of the year, you're going to provide a copy of that mentoring log to your mentor, and they're going to be sending that in with your affidavit, which I will explain in just a few minutes. You are also going to complete 6 hours of professional development through Sanford Inspire. These are online, on-demand modules, so you can do them at your leisure. There's not a particular time that you have to do it, but we do have a PD plan that has been outlined for you to take you through the different months of the year and provide the PD that we know that you need within those time frames. For those that are early exit candidates, you will have a slightly different PD plan because you're going to actually be able to select your professional development, because you've been through a lot more professional development than our brand new teachers. And we want to make sure that you're choosing things that are pertaining to the work and how you're trying to improve your practice. So your plan will look a little different. But for our year 1 and year 2 folks, there is a prescribed outline plan for you. And you will also find that in the Mentee folder on our website or on the Microsoft team. And then the last piece is that you've been formally evaluated by your administration, and your administrator will keep track of that. They will help to guide you throughout the year when you have to go into Progo and do different activities in Progo, such as adding feedback or signing off on forms and those types of things. So your mentor will assist you with that, as well as your administrator at the school. For our year 2 folks, we kind of pull back a little bit on those supports because we know you've been through 1 year of teaching, but we still want to provide you with that support. So very similar to year 1, except that you're going to visit a classroom 1 time and your mentor is going to visit you 1 time. And you can choose when that is going to be between you and your mentor. You will still complete the inquiry cycle. If you would like to, you can even continue to work off of that inquiry cycle that you started the previous year. Maybe it's something you're still working on, trying to develop. Maybe in Dimension 3, you're working on those instructional practices, and there's a specific practice that you still want to continue working on. So that will once again be decided upon between you and your mentor when you meet for that pre-conference to determine what dimension and elements are they going to look at when they come in your classroom, so they can help you to be able to identify how you would like to improve on the things you're doing with your students. And then also with your meetings, you're only going to be meeting twice a month. So that's definitely different than year 1. And also, I didn't mention it previously, but I will say this, that the PD that you do during that month can also count as a mentoring session, because you're actually going to provide feedback to your mentor on what you learned during that PD module, and that can count as one of those meetings. So for year 2, you really would only maybe meet face-to-face once. Now, you're certainly welcome to do it more often, but this is just our minimum requirements. And once again, that mentoring log is going to be turned in. And a big purpose for that mentoring log, it's not just for us to see the activities and things that you're doing, but also just to kind of have that piece of accountability between all parties. One of the reasons that we kind of formalize things a little bit more for our mentees was based on some survey data we received last year from our mentees. And one thing that we saw is many times the mentee was the one reaching out for the mentoring, and we want to make sure that that is not the expectation, that your mentor is communicating with you as often as you're communicating with them. Because we know sometimes our new teachers don't necessarily know all the questions to ask and how to guide that work. So we want our mentors more intimately involved with that piece of the process. And you're still going to complete during year 2 another 6 hours of Sanford Inspire. It's going to be different modules than you did for year 1. And then, of course, you're going to provide some feedback to your mentor about what it is that you're learning. And it'll be a nice springboard for conversation between you and your mentor. And once again, you're going to be formally evaluated. Now, during year 1, the IPIS, which is our evaluation system, as a year 1 instructional person in Brevard County, you will have 2 informals and 2 formals. During your 2nd year, you have 1 informal and 1 formal. So the requirements there change as well when you enter into your 2nd year. For those that are tagged as an early exit candidate, these are your requirements. You will participate for a minimum of 6 months. And we say 6 months, but it's really through the first semester. So by January, your administrator can consider you for dismissal. And they must have completed that informal evaluation for you at minimum, but usually they've done an informal and a formal if you're first year in Brevard County by the time we get to that January threshold. Also, that you've at least done 1 observation of a highly effective teacher in your school, as well as meeting with your mentor on a weekly basis. and that you've also completed your professional development. Once again, choosing the topics, those areas of interest, or whatever your current focus is. And you also cannot be on a temporary certificate. So anybody who has their professional could be considered for early exit, not those on a temporary. In your folders, you will find also these handouts for induction requirements for year 1, year 2. And it will take you through based on the different roles. So the role of the mentee, the mentor, the lead mentor, and the administrator at the top. And then down the side are all of the components of our induction program. So if you look at the boxes related to you as a mentee, which would be that very first column on both of those documents, you will see what is required in each section. Whatever you see in red, those are action items. So those are things that would need to be sent to the district at the end of the year. You are not sending anything yourself. The only thing that you will send, and I'll talk about that when I get to the PD plans, but the only thing you are going to send is when you take those Inspire modules, it produces a certificate at the end of the training. You are going to save those certificates, group them together. You're going to put your ID on them, and you're going to send them to me here at the district so that we can get those points into the ProGo system for you. Because it's really important that we get you that professional development and get those hours built in for you. And so that's really the only piece that you are going to be responsible for. Otherwise, you're going to give that log to your mentor, and you're going to sign off on your affidavit. And the lead mentor at the school is actually the one who sends in all of the final documents. This is a sample of what a professional development plan looks like for a mentee, and you can see it's highlighted year 1. There's a plan for year 1, and there's a plan for year 2. The document was written in language that is addressing the mentor teacher because obviously we want them to be going over this document with you and getting you to where you need to be with the PD. But basically, with Sanford Inspire, you go on and create an account. It's very simple. Once again, the instructions for doing that are located in the Mentor's Guidebook. They're also in your folder on our website as well as in the Microsoft Teams. So you can find information about how to do that. But it's very simple. It's only about five little things you have to enter to create an account. It's completely free, so it's never going to ask you for money or anything like that. So you're going to sign up for a Sanford Inspire account, and then you're going to follow the PD plan that you see in the boxes. So you'll have a professional development for August. It tells you the domain and the module that you're going to be doing. And once you get into Sanford, you will see how that's broken down. It's very easy to find the PD. You'll complete that professional development. You can see that really most of them are only 30 minutes. And you will find that to be true of almost all of them except for the inquiry cycle. That is a 60-minute module, but all the rest for the most part are 30. So they're very short, but a lot is packed into that little piece. And so you will complete that PD, once again saving those certificates. You can just save them digitally. I believe at the end you can save them as a PDF, and then you're just going to put them in a folder, compile them, and then you're going to print them out. You're going to put your ID number in the upper right-hand corner, your employee ID on the very first page, and then you'll just send them to me at the district. My information is at the top of that PD plan. It says to send them to the Office of Professional Learning and Development at ESF. Just so you know, ESF is what we call our Educational Services Facility, and that is our school board building in Viera. So when you hear that term ESF, that's what they're referring to. And then you're just going to send those to me at the end of the school year. We're going to make sure that your mentors remind you of those things, so you're not going to be left on your own to try to figure it out. We're going to be communicating with your APs and your lead mentor teachers at the school, as well as your actual mentor, your school-based mentor. And once again, the PD plan looks a little different for those early exit candidates. This year, we have added a new element to what we do with new teacher induction, and that is to create Microsoft Teams. One thing that we did find when we surveyed our mentors and mentees last year was they felt sometimes that they didn't have all the information and support they may need from the district level. So we wanted to find a way to be able to convey information and to provide training for our mentors and our lead mentors without having to constantly pull people from the building or bring them up here in the evening for trainings. So we have embarked on this new Microsoft Teams, and it's new for all of us. So I know there will be some growing pains, and that's okay, but we're going to push through it. So far, things have been pretty good with those that have been participating in the team, asking questions, doing trainings. Right now, in the new teacher induction team, there's really no action items. I've pushed out a couple of things to the team about our teacher meetups. We have a great program here in the district where we have some former teachers of the year who have different groups in 4 areas of the county where they meet with our new teachers in a very casual environment. We do it at a restaurant. We provide you with some appetizers, some soda or tea, and we sit and we talk and we listen. And the listening piece is the big piece. So we listen to your concerns, your questions, and try to provide you with the support that you need to be successful. And so that is in the team right now, along with in the files section, you'll find all of the supporting documents for induction. But there really hasn't been any kind of training. This training is going into the team folder. So this will be there for you if you need to listen to it again or want to go back and refer to it because you maybe don't remember. And so we're hoping that this is going to be a successful way for us to communicate, and we're looking forward to supporting all of our mentees in the district through the Microsoft Teams. Bridget Reed, who is one of our district peer mentor teachers, she will also be providing some trainings for our mentees as well, and she'll also be supporting the training for our school-based mentors, so that they can also have all the information they need to support you the best way they can at the school level. So the only 2 documents that actually come up here to ESF is the affidavit you'll sign at the end of the year, and I believe I've got a sample of that here in just a moment, and then the mentoring log that you're going to keep. So you're actually, as the mentee, the one who's going to keep the log. And the log is pretty simple. It just asks for the date and the activity, and then if there's any follow-up, that way it's there for you if there's some kind of an action item that you wanted for your next meeting with your mentor. These are samples. I chose the year 2. The year 1 looks very similar, but of course the requirements are a little different, so it'll look slightly different. But these are samples of the affidavit and the mentoring log. So at the end of the year, here at the district, we don't want to collect any of the documents that you have done with your mentor, because that's all between you and your mentor, and we want those things to stay between you. It's important that you have that type of a relationship with your mentor teacher, that you can really share things of concern and really work with them. So we don't want any of those documents here. All we do is want proof that everybody's saying yes, those activities have been completed. We've been supporting our mentor teacher throughout the school year. As far as the mentoring log, you'll find an Excel spreadsheet in your mentee folder on our website or in the Microsoft team. And this is what the one looks like for our year 2 folks. Our year 1 folks, it's a little bit longer because we're expecting those weekly meetings, but it's very similar, and you're just simply going to write down what you talked about and the date and the time, and then if there were any action items or anything that you want to address for the next time. So pretty simple. We put the different forms of mentoring down there because it could be face-to-face, email, Skype, through Microsoft Teams or Google. You could set up your own team at your school or a Google Classroom. It's really up to you and your mentor how you want to proceed with your meetings. And we've also listed some possible things that you might be doing, but once again, it's between you and your mentor teacher. So if you have any questions about the process or after you talk to your school-based mentor, you guys both still have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Email is really the best way to get me because I'm in and out of the office a lot, and I do also trainings up here at the district. So you're welcome, of course, to call me by phone, but it's not always the easiest way to get a hold of me. So please feel free to email me at any time, thorstenson.lynette@brevardschools.org. And once again, welcome to Brevard County. We're very excited to have you here, and we hope you have a wonderful experience this year with your mentor teacher.